Hello, I'm Mrs. Corley. I'm very bummed that I don't get to meet all of you parents tonight. I am the cross country coach, and our pre-region meet got moved to the same night as Meet the Teachers. So while I'm very sad I don't get to meet all of you, I'm definitely loving what I am doing with my athletes over at a meet. And I hope to connect with all of you guys soon. A little bit about me. I'm one of our 3 chemistry teachers at Fountain Inn High School. This is going to be my second year teaching and coaching at Fountain Inn. Last year, I taught biology. This year, I'm teaching biology and chemistry. I'm relatively new to the Fountain Inn area. I moved to South Carolina about a year ago from New Mexico. A little bit about my background. I got my degrees at New Mexico State University. My degrees are in biology and then in teaching secondary science. While I was at New Mexico State University, I ran track and field and cross country. Then I moved from New Mexico to South Carolina last summer, and then my husband and I got married in March. Before teaching chemistry this year, I taught biology last year. I was an embedded tutor and TA at New Mexico State University for biology and chemistry courses. I also was doing a student work study in a nematology and research lab while I worked at New Mexico State, or while I went to school at New Mexico State. And then I student taught AP Physics. A little bit about what I'm teaching your child. Chemistry is the study of matter and how it behaves on small and large scales. We just finished going over our math skills needed for chemistry. We're going to learn about atomic structure, some trends in the periodic table. We'll look at nuclear chemistry. We'll look at waves and light and how it's applied in technology. We'll look at types of chemical reactions and rates of chemical reactions. We'll spend some time looking at acids and bases and thermochemistry and thermodynamics. Some materials are special and required just for chemistry. Each student should at this point have a binder. We have been updating our binder, keeping organized with our materials by unit. So every single student should have a binder. If they did not have a binder, they should have let me know by now and been given one. They should be putting dividers in by unit. They also need just lined paper to do their science starters each day. They also need colored pencils, and then they do need a scientific or graphing calculator. So while they're taking tests and quizzes in my class, they can't use their phone or their computer to access a calculator. I do have calculators as a class set, but they will probably want a calculator while they're at home. The other thing that students need is their lab goggles and aprons. Many students have those from last year or have already purchased them on My School Bucks or brought $5 to class. I do have a list of students who I gave goggles to, but they still need to pay their $5. So throughout the semester, I'll be reminding them that we need to get those $5 paid, or it will go on as a fee, just like an ID fine. I want to show you how to access my website. So if you go to just the Fountain Inn website and you go to staff, if you scroll down to science, you'll see my website right here. If you click visit my site, it will take you right here to Mrs. Corley's website. I have my contact information, where students can find me throughout the day, as well as an extra help request form. This is just so that if students want tutoring, it goes on my calendar. For parents, where you will likely want to go is to chemistry. One thing I want to draw your attention to is that I have a flipped classroom, which means that in chemistry, I'll send home mini lectures so that we can do activities in class. I'll also be posting my notes as we get going. You also might want to draw your attention to the newsletters. I have chemistry newsletters here. I'm publishing them by unit. So every week or two, you should get a newsletter from me via backpack. The other thing I'd like to draw your attention to is Google Classroom. So if you're in second period chemistry or your students in second period, this is the class code over here. You can join as a viewer of the class if you want to see their classwork or anything that we're doing. I organize my classes on Google Classroom by week, and then each day I post our objective agenda any reminders, and then any materials that we used in class, including the notes, the PowerPoints, and any handouts that I gave out during class. This is a great resource for students who are absent, that they can see what we did exactly, and they can also work on their work if they are feeling well enough to do so. It's also a resource for you to see what we're up to. The other place that you can see that back on my website would be on the homepage of chemistry. I have my lesson plans by unit as well. And my syllabus is right there if you'd like to see it. If you are in 4th block chemistry, the page looks the same, but this is the code to join if you want to be put in as a viewer of your student. A little bit of parent info. Remember, you can view my lesson plans on my website, and I would encourage you to use Parent Backpack to keep up with your students' grades. I'd also encourage you to have your information up to date in Backpack. I send out the newsletter via Backpack. It will go to the email or phone number that you have listed in Backpack. So if those aren't up to date, you probably haven't received either of the 2 newsletters that I've sent out this semester. A little bit about the homework in chemistry. Students will have videos, usually 2, sometimes 3 times a week. There are mini lectures that students will need to do the next day's activity. So this is how the flipped classroom works. Instead of sending home written homework, students will get a preview of what we're doing the night before. In order to make sure that students watch it, I do count it as 10% of the grade. If there's more than 1 video given per week, I'm going to average those grades for 1 weekly grade of flipped classroom homework. The other thing that students might come home with is unfinished classwork. I give time for classwork, but if students did not use their time wisely in class, I'll ask them to complete their day's work at home. A little bit about how the grading works. In my class, minor grades are classwork and homework. Classwork will count for 30% of the students' grades. That could be practice we do or labs. Homework will just be those ed puzzle videos. Major grades are tests and projects. They're worth 60% of the student's 9-week grade. Both of those 9-week grades will count 45% towards their total semester grade, and they'll have a final exam that covers everything we've done. It will count towards 10% of their total semester grade. Late work in my class, if students were in class and did not complete their work, they'll have up to 3 days to complete it before I will no longer accept it. If you have a special circumstance or there's something going on, if you can let me know and communicate that. If you need extra time, I'm usually pretty flexible with that. The only case where this changes is absent students. They have a little bit more time. If a student was absent from school, they were sick or out for any other reason, they'll have 5 days to complete their missing work. And then redos. Students cannot redo minor assignments in my class, but they can redo any major assessment that they fail, meaning 60% or less. So remediation will be required before that second attempt. That could be tutoring in the morning or redoing any of those minor assignments leading up to that major grade. I offer tutoring on Tuesday mornings. I ask that students fill out the extra help request form on my website, and I ask for that so that it goes on my calendar and I know that someone would like to meet on Tuesday morning. The things that we can go over in class are their homework. We can expand on their ed puzzle videos if they were confused. We can go over their notes or anything we did in class. We can review labs, and we can go over any questions the students have. If you have any questions, I ask that you would email me tonight or tomorrow. My email is ccorley@greenville.k12.sc.us. Again, I'm very sad that I didn't get to meet you parents tonight, but if you would like to meet, we can set up a time if you want to email me. I would love to be in touch with you. And again, I just want to remind you to update your information in Backpack so that you get those unitly newsletters that I send out. Thank you for your time. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you, and I hope to meet you at some point during the semester.